Okay, everybody, we have a problem. We're gonna have to talk about it. There are so many handhelds on the market at this point. Just in my bag alone. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But wait, there's more. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And the new boy on the block, the Switch 2. Like, holy, wow. We have a lot of handhelds to talk about. As you can see, there is a lot of options for handhelds here. And people have made GameCube handhelds, Nintendo Wii handhelds, PS2 handhelds, and yes, they're doing this by really cutting down the circuit boards, and that took a lot of time and effort. Probably a lot of sacrifice boards as well, but it's pretty incredible that they've done that. There is also newer handheld devices that can just play those consoles just fine portably. And then on the market, there are some really cheap handhelds. If you really need a game on the go and you really don't want to worry about it, you can get things like this made by Macari for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Me personally, I would rather have the cup of coffee, but that's just me. And what are you doing? We're trying to film here. This is no time to be gaming.
What? I'm playing here. It's pocket size.
Now the question is, when did handhelds really get their start? Technically, they got their start from Mattel Electronics, the Auto Race game. It was the first actual handheld game. Yes, it was very primitive, but it wasn't one of the first of its kind. And then we moved on to things like the Game & Watch, and then the classic Game Boy. This is not a classic Game Boy. This is actually a retro flag GPIO case thing that models our DMG Game Boy. But we got things also later on, like the Game Boy Pocket, and the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy SP, the Game Gear.
Whoa. Color. Hey, there's an easier way to get color. Get a Game Gear, the full color portable with over 150 games, like the new Echo, Mortal 2, and Sonic Triple Trouble.
Nintendo is credited for really bringing handhelds into the market, mostly with the Game & Watch because of how successful it was. Now, as we go through the years, we get into the early 2000s, and Nintendo came out with their DS line, along with PlayStation coming out with their PlayStation Portable, which were both very successful. In that space, we also got the 3DS and the PS Vita, which was a very capable system, but could not compete with the 3DS. It was selling out pretty much 3-to-1 compared to the Vita. And then in 2017, we got the Switch, which was about to replace the DS. And then by March of 2019, the PlayStation Vita was discontinued. And by September of 2020, the DS is gone as well. This leaving Nintendo as the only maker of a handheld system you could buy. Of course, I haven't added PC gaming in it yet, but that's gonna come pretty soon. And within the next few years, that's going to change drastically with the Steam Deck. As we move into the 2020s, Amberneck was about to make a name for themselves. But before that, and kind of around the same time, we got the Pocket Go. This was the first retro gaming handheld I bought. And this came out around 2019. Around the same time the PS Vita was dead. That following year was Amberneck with the 351P, the 351M, and then one of my personal favorite handhelds to this day, the 351V, the wood grain edition. These were some of the best handhelds you can get on the market if you wanted to play everything up to PS1 on the go, which was pretty incredible at the time. Now, this was filling that void that was created by the Vita and the DS line being completely gone. And there was going to be a new competitor coming pretty soon. So the Steam Deck was going to launch within the next 3 years. And this was going to bring PC gaming to the mainstream on the go. And yes, there have been handheld gaming PCs, but they weren't taken as seriously as the Steam Deck was. This was really well designed, great controls, felt great in your hands while you were playing, and could hook to your TV. On top of that, Nintendo has doubled down on their portable gaming market, with the Switch 2 being a handheld and a home console, all in one. Then we have Xbox, which has kind of joined the handheld gaming market with the ROG Ally Xbox Edition, which really isn't an Xbox. It's a handheld running Windows with the Microsoft Store. It's kind of a weird in-between. Maybe at some point we'll get a real just Xbox. But I guess for all intents and purposes, since the new Xbox that's rumored to come out is going to be running Windows 11 anyway, I guess you could call it an Xbox Portable. Now, let's get into some of these handhelds and why some of them are worth it and why some are not. We have this. This is by far my favorite handheld that I still play quite often. The 405M by Anbernic. And you can do so many things with this handheld. I can play everything up to GameCube with this thing. And the great thing is there's an app for Android now called Game Native that's built for devices like this, where I can natively install Steam games right onto this handheld and play games. Granted, it's very, very beta and not all games work, and you have to fiddle quite a bit to get them to work sometimes, but it's still there. And if you want something that works seamless, Moonlight and Sunshine are incredible apps and have been around for a while. And this allows you to stream games from your computer onto handhelds like this with pretty much zero lag. It's quite incredible. I have sat on my couch and played games on my main TV from my computer with Moonlight and Sunshine, and it runs flawlessly. I would highly recommend it. Then on top of that, for streaming anyway, and for PlayStation Plus, PlayStation came out with kind of their own portable system, the PlayStation Portal. This was just for streaming games up until they allowed the ability to play from the cloud servers, which was, I would say, quite a good addition to this thing. Now, the one thing, if you do get devices like this, like the 351V, the 556, or the 405M, don't use the stock firmware. It's gonna seem like it runs great when you get it, and it has some built-in games and whatnot, and that's great and all, but there's a lot of flaws with the software that comes with these things. I have personally reflashed every single Anbernic device I have. And that's no fault against them. They make great devices. It's just that the software that's preloaded is not that great. Now, I have Gamma OS running on this right here, along with Emulation Station, the desktop edition, which you actually can't get into the Android store anymore because they got kicked from the Android store. But if you're a part of their Patreon, you can still get the app for devices like this and customize the hell out of it. It allows for a beautiful front end for handhelds like this.
Introducing Game Boy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable. Game Boy comes complete with batteries and the outrageous new game Tetris.
Now, if you're a purist and you want to play games on their original hardware, obviously head over to retro gaming conventions or the stores that are near us, like Retro Games Plus, and pick up a classic Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, Game Boy SP. These are great, and get a hold of some games and play them. And that's if you want to go the pure route and just play the game straight on their original hardware, which is great. And if you really want to play on original hardware like this and don't want to have to carry a whole bunch of little cartridges around in your backpack, you can get EverDrives for most of these devices. So you can load ROMs onto them and have all your favorite games on the go and never have to change the cartridge. And on the market, there are, I'm sure you have seen these, and they were for sale for a while. Obviously they're discontinued now because they were limited sale, is the relaunch of the Game & Watch. They had the Zelda edition and the Mario edition, which came with, like, obviously Mario games and a handful of Zelda games, which are really cool. And what's really neat is there's modders out there now have come out with a way to load these things with more memory and better emulation, which is really cool. The DIY community for handhelds is an incredible community. If you just spend a minute and just take a look at some of the stuff they've done, you'll be amazed. Thank you everybody for watching. This was a fun video just talking about a lot of handhelds we have. And we have so many. At some point, maybe we'll do a detailed video of some of these, but that's for a future video. And I do want to add, if it's too good to be true, like if you see some at $5 Below, $4 or $5, and it's a handheld like this, it's really not worth it. Do not buy it. It might be fun here and there just to keep with you. If you lose it and you break it, who cares? But in a sense, it's not worth that kind of money. Go get yourself a cup of coffee, a slice of pizza, something. But don't buy this.
Scene 6-7, take 2, action. Where's Nate? Where the hell did he go? He was right here. Where in the heck did he go? Never on set. Like, seriously? Is he outside? Oh, come on. Really? You two?
What? I'm gaming. You have a problem with that?